Okay, so today is Tuesday. It is October 2nd. This is day number 2 of some training for Adobe Premiere. I'm actually going to just erase everything that we did yesterday just to start fresh. I'll keep one shot in here. This is actually my audio. All right, so I'm going to go to my kind of a cooler shot. Street shot from bike. Okay, so I'm going to double click on, this is my bin where all my footage is located, and this is called street shot from bike. Okay, so that's my bike. I have the camera on a tripod. I'm holding the camera. The camera is upside down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this in. You can flip anything upside down. You can flip it sideways. You can do whatever you want with it. So I'm going to find a point. I'll start with the tire. So just kind of reviewing. Turn this down a little bit. When we bring your footage into this preview window, you can hit play right here. And it's going to play all the pre-roll, everything that you've got going on right there. And you're kind of waiting for the shot to actually start. So if you're filming with your group and that's where your starting point would be, you can hit the space bar and then push mark in. If that's where we want the shot to start, mark in. And we'll hit play. Space bar will start the footage. Space bar will stop the footage, start and stop. Okay, let's say we want it to stop there. If we want the shot to stop, we can hit mark out. And then there's a couple of ways that we can get the footage down to your timeline. We can drag the whole clip down like this. Or if you just wanted the video, you could just drag video only, this little icon that just drags the video down. If you just want the audio, this is just a review from yesterday, you can drag audio only, and that goes down to the audio track right there. So playing this back, our footage is upside down. I'm going to show you a quick trick to fix that footage so it looks the correct way. So I'm actually going to double click this shot right here. This is your timeline. This is where you're going to build your movie. We're going to actually double click the shot and we're going to go into effect controls. So I double click the shot, we're going into effect controls. There's a few things on here. There's motion, there's opacity. Motion we'll get into in a second. Opacity is the thickness of the video. So what we can do is we can bring the opacity down to 50%. Now it's halfway there. So we kind of faded it out. So you can kind of do some superimposing one image on top of another. That's what superimposing is. But opacity, when it's 100%, that's how you filmed it with your camera, so you can't see anything through that. But we'll show you in here in a second. You can do a volume, motion. Some people call these twiddles. Some people call them drop downs. What do you call them? Arrows. That works for me too. Arrow down. So arrow down, we can change the position of the bike shot. We can move it left and right, or we can move it up and down, up and down. You can move it left and right. You can also scale it. If we want to zoom in, we can make it more than 100%. We can make it 14% and make it a little teeny tiny little video. You can do that. That's like the basis of the 4-shot split screen. So this would be the beginning of that. If we put 4 shots on top of one another, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. A lot of kids have done that with their TV commercial or their PSA where they have 4 shots playing at the same time on their screen. It's pretty cool. So you would put 4 video tracks on top of one another and then have those all playing at the same time. So we're not going to do that right now because I don't want to overwhelm you. I'm going to put the scale back to 100 and I'm just going to hit my 100, enter, and we're going to reset this, I think, to 0 to 0. No, that didn't do it. Position. I'll just move it over. I'll get it in the ballpark. And then we're going to take the rotation. You guys have all been waiting for the rotation to happen. We're going to flip it the correct way, which is 180 degrees, and then we'll play it back. So this is what that shot looks like. The camera is pretty close to the ground. It's a pretty cool shot. I want to get my bike tire in there. I have a fat tire bike, so I ride it all the time in the winter. I love riding bike in the winter. So, so yeah, that looks pretty decent, and I didn't drop the camera, which is a good thing. The car goes past. It's kind of neat. So you can do something like this, or just don't drop the camera. Don't scrape the top of the camera against the concrete, because then you'll have to actually fix it. So if you don't think you can do a shot like this, don't do it. All right? I had complete faith in myself to do this shot, so that's why I did it. Plus, I wanted to show you how you can flip things around. So we did that already. Review. Is there anything else that we did yesterday that you want me to go over again to review? Bringing footage in. Once you get all, let me show you this again here. This little icon view down on the bottom, there's a list view, and then there's an icon view. The icon view will show you what your shot looks like. So when you bring all your footage in for your TV commercial, you'll see what the first frame looks like. So this is a grass shot. I put the camera on a board, and I had more control over my shot to do, it was the wrong one. Oh, there we go. So I put the camera on a board, and I'm actually physically, so I'm kneeling in the grass, and my camera's on a board, and I'm just going like this. So the camera's on the board, and I'm just moving it through the grass. So that's what, you have a little bit more control over your camera rather than holding the camera and sliding that through the grass. You have a little bit more control if you have, you could even put it on a tripod too, and you'd have more control that way also. Okay. Let's see. So bringing in footage. Any questions or something that you want me to do? No? Okay. I'm going to show you, first thing I want to show you is a black and white effect. So if you want to notate this, well, it'll be on the web too. So I want to I'm going to get, let's put the rabbit in black and white. So I'm going to bring the rabbit in. So you can also do it that way. If you just saw what I just did, I just dragged it from here. I'll do it again. Watch. It's kind of like a magic trick. Boom. It's in. But if you want to fine tune the shot, then you can double click it. You got the rabbit up here. You can fine tune how much of that on there that you want. When you have your mark in and your mark out, it will only bring that much footage in there like that. Okay. So if I zoom in, I'm going to grab this little box, zoom in, and I can pull this over a little bit. So to put this in black and white, I'm going to go grab my arrow here. There's a list of tools right here, just so that you don't get lost here. Hand tool, pen tool. A lot of these you don't really use. I'll notate them. Sometimes you use the razor tool. To use the razor tool, it will just cut the shot in half. So now it's 2. But there's an easier way to do that. If you don't want to use the razor tool, you can just grab the edge of the clip and just move it over. It's a time saver. So don't waste a lot of time doing that. But if you want to move a shot, like if you're on the razor tool and you're trying to cut it, and let's say you want to move this rabbit shot, and you click it, and like you're trying to move this, say, Mr. Toutge, this is not moving, and I'm clicking on it, and it keeps making all of these cuts in here. What's going on? And I'll say, well, you have your razor tool on, so let's get the razor tool off. Let's grab the selection tool, which is just the arrow. I'm going to delete all of these cuts, these mistakes. I'm going to pull this back over. Now it's all one clip. So it's really intuitive what you can do with the clip, what you want to do with it. So getting back, we want to make it black and white. So here again, we're going to double click this shot. It's going to go up to effect controls. And you'll notice up here, all these things are dealing with this shot of the rabbit, but they're under effects, there's no black and white. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to this effects right here. So there's two effects. There's one up here on the window, and there's one down here. So we're going to type in black and white. Black and white. So I just got in black, and it came up. So what I can do is I can double click this effect, and it actually puts it up on that shot. So what I can do is I can go, oh, it just did it. My rabbit is now black and white. Okay, so I'll do that one more time for you. All right, so we will click on this shot. There's our rabbit shot. We're going to go up to effect controls. There's no black and white filter on here. So here again, we go down to our effects. Down here, we type in BLACK, black and white. There it is. Double click it, and it makes that shot black and white. Okay? So, black and white, check. Another thing I want you to show you, a lot of kids will do, is slow motion. Okay? Very famous in sporting events. Let me go to our famous squirrel shot here. We'll put the squirrel in slow-mo. There he is. I'm going to double click my squirrel. He's out of focus, I'm sorry. So we're going to put him in slow-mo. I'm going to hit mark in. That's the beginning of my shot. There he goes, full speed ahead, looking for the nuts. Actually, we have a squirrel in our backyard that's burying nuts underneath one of our trees. It's kind of funny. So we're going to drag this down. We're just going to drag the video down. I don't need the audio because the audio is pretty bad. So we're just going to drag the video down, bring it down here, and I'm going to zoom into this just because I want to see that clip up close. To zoom into a shot, I'm going to grab this little box right here. I'm going to click and drag to the left, and that's going to zoom into the shot. So I'm making it pretty large. All right, so if I hit play, there's my squirrel. So to put it in slow-mo, I'm going to right-click on the actual clip. Right-click on the clip. And then you have a whole bunch of different things you do. You can cut, you can copy, you can replace. But the thing that we want to do is speed and duration. So we're going to go to speed, and for speed, 100% is full motion. That's what you recorded the shot at. So for speed, we're going to go 20%. 20. And we're going to hit OK. And so now when we play this back, you'll notice on the actual clip, it changed red. See how it's red? That means that all the ones and the zeros, the binary code that's making all the video work with your processor and your RAM and all that stuff, it's not kosher. It's not good. It needs to be rendered. It needs to be put in order inside the computer. So to render that, to get rid of the red, what would you do? I will tell you. You will hit enter to get rid of the red. To get rid of red and to render a footage, you will hit the enter button. You will hit the enter button. Okay? We're not going to do it right now because I don't have time. I'm going to hit play. And here's our squirrel in slow motion. This is 20% on our squirrel. If you ever get a chance to film a hummingbird up close, if your parents have a hummingbird feeder outside like your kitchen window or something, I will give you extra credit if you film a hummingbird, bring it in, and put the value at like 2%, because I so want to see a hummingbird in slow motion. That would be pretty cool. All right, so that's slow motion. I'll do it one more time just so that everybody knows how to do that. Leaf blower, we don't need to put that in slow-mo. Oh, here we go. We can do this. I fixed this faucet last weekend. I had to drill out the old one because it was all leaky and crappy. So I drilled it out and I replaced it because I went to Menards and saved big money. All right. Exactly. Okay. So here's, you know what, before I do that, I'm going to show you another match edit. What is a match edit? Anybody know what a match edit is? We talked about it yesterday. My hand comes in, turns on the water.
Oh, isn't it like the mailbox?
It kind of is the mailbox one. What? Can you be a little bit more specific on a match edit with the mailbox? Yeah, go ahead.
It's
or you have like, another clip kind of in between another one, like,
Yep.
and you put the video, second part on the second video layer.
Right.
And so, if you want to have like one shot that's of like almost like different perspective or something that you want to add into the other.
Yeah. Let me do that really quick. So we're always encouraging video 1 and video 2. You can film an establishing shot, but then also what else, before you move away from that spot, are there 16 shots that you can get? Like if you film me working here, are there 16 items or 16 things, 16 objects that you could film that would tell the story of Mr. Toutge explaining how to edit? Well, I've got 2 pens over here. I've got the things that I want to teach you. I've got a speaker, I've got a computer, I've got a monitor that's not working. I've got a microphone that's feeding into this camera so that I can post this and you can hear me. I've got a camera here plugged in with a USB cable. I've got a stack of instructions on how to do editing. I've got a mouse pad that we just got last summer because Mr. Pickens said we needed new mouse pads, mic stand, and a working monitor. So we always tell Tiger News, okay, film an establishing shot, film me working in the media center or wherever, but then get closer, get into the action. What does the mouse look like? Get a shot of them using the mouse, get a shot of the keys being typed on, get a shot of all of the things around here, okay? So here's what I did with this. This is a faucet. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna turn it on. I kept rolling, so I'm gonna go forward on my shot here. And I zoomed into the actual faucet. It's off. So if I do a match edit, so there's my hand, and I'm gonna find where the water starts. The water starts right there. I'm gonna hit mark in, and I'm gonna zoom in right here. Find where the water starts. This is called a match edit. We're matching the edit from a wide shot to a tight shot. So right there and there. Mark in and mark in. So now what we can do is we can take this tiny little shot, this little video piece, we can put it right there, and here's what a match edit looks like. So we're going from a wide shot to the tight shot. All right, so that's called a match edit. I didn't break, there is kind of a break in continuity. Everybody see it? What's the break in continuity? The water force, thank you, physics guy. Okay, the water is just trickling out, and now it's, okay? So that's called a break in continuity. When you film wide shots and tight shots, make sure that you're doing them the same way. When you shake someone's hand on a wide shot and you move in tight, make sure that they have the same sweatshirt on that they had on the day before. Make sure that they're make sure it matches, okay? All right. Black and white, did slow-mo, full graphics. You know what, before I do that, I'm going to get rid of this, delete. I want to go to my jib shot here. So I put my jib out in the street. My neighbors were like, what? Toutge, what are you doing? So this is where my jib goes up. I like how the car goes past. So I'm going to hit mark in there. The jib goes up into the tree. We'll hit mark out. I'm going to bring the whole clip down. Jib's going up. Okay, so I'm gonna put a title on top of this. I'm gonna show you the title before I show you the full graphic. So we're gonna go up to, we've got up here on the top, we've got file, edit, project, clip, sequence, marker, title, window, help. Yes, I can read. Go to title. We're gonna go to title and we're gonna select new title. I just helped someone with this morning in video 2. They forgot how to make a title, so it's fine if you forget. Don't feel bad if you have to ask how to do this, because this is a huge program. I don't expect you to become professionals at this in however many days how long is a trimester? 85 days? Something like that? I don't know. How long is a trimester? You don't know? Ryan, how long is a trimester for the audience watching at home? I don't know. 13 weeks, right? Okay. Anyway, new title. And then if you want the title to just sit and stay, you're going to select default still. You guys get this up there? Yeah? Okay, default still. Now at this point we can name the title. We can give it a name of whatever we want. I'm going to just say title over street, because that's what we're doing. Okay. So now whatever your cursor is sitting on right here, you guys see this is your cursor. Whatever that is sitting on, that's what's going to show up in your title. So it's true to your screen. So I'm going to click down here and street what? Street Jib Street. Okay. So now there's a couple different things I can do with this. I can stretch this out, make it large. I can go to, I don't know, how many people have used Photoshop in here? Photoshop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people. We can change the color of Jib Street. Click on that. We can make it red. Never use red on video. Ever, ever, ever. Okay, you can use black. You can click on any one of these. If you don't see the color that you want, you can go to blue, go to purple. Okay, there's purple. I like purple. All right, we can go to a shadow. We can add a shadow to it. We can change the angle of it. We can change the distance of the shadow. We can change the size of the shadow. We can make it big, we can make it thick. We can go to the spread. That kind of puts kind of a soft shadow on it. That's kind of cool. Angle, we kind of talked about that already. Opacity. So the opacity is the thickness of the video, which I mentioned about 7 minutes ago. So if you just want just a light shadow on it, that my opacity is at 25%. If you want it like all the way there, put it at 100%. Okay? So that's kind of up to you. You can change the angle, you can change the distance. The distance is how far away that shadow is. So be creative with your graphics. Don't just go to Arial 12-point font and call it good. I mean, try to find a font that you like. Let me show you where the fonts are. Font family, we can go up here. There's tons and tons of fonts. I don't like that one. That looks ugly. That one's hard to read. Also choose something that's easy to read. You can stretch this out. Jib Street. Okay, that looks good. Okay. Yeah.
It's around 60 to 65 days.
Okay, thank you. Ryan says 60 to 65 days. All right, Jib Street. And so now the kind of cool thing about making graphics is that you don't have to go up and save anything because it's already been saved for you. So if you see up in this little this corner right here, this red X, just go ahead and click it. And Jib Street, that graphic that we just made, is down here where all of my videos are. My squirrel, my rabbit, my faucet, my pinwheel, it's all down there. Okay? So now what I can do is I can grab Jib Street and I can actually put it into my sequence. And there it is. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. We can have that Jib Street graphic. We don't have to have it over the whole thing. We can have it offset, not have it come in. It cuts in. Let's say we want to have it fade in. Put your cursor right at the beginning of the graphic, right click, apply default transition. We did that yesterday. If you watch it back, play, video, fades in really nice. Okay? Jib goes up. And now let's say we want the graphic to fade out right there. Couple ways you can get rid of the rest of that graphic. You can grab the end of this, drag it over, it's gone. Control Z, undo. You can do it the long way and go get the razor blade, cut, get the arrow, select it, delete, okay? That took 4 extra steps when all I had to do was just grab this, okay? You can time me actually if you want, okay? Go, done. Now let's try it the other way. Start, go 1, grab this thing, cut it, grab the arrow, select it, delete. Okay, that was like 8 seconds. Okay, so why not just be smarter than the computer and just grab it, okay? So we want to fade that out, put your cursor on the end of that, right click on your mouse. If you're a clicker, hopefully you are. By the end of this class, you'll be a clicker on the mouse. Apply default transition, so we'll hit play. Jib goes up, jib street comes in, cursor keeps moving, and jib street fades out. Okay, questions on adding titles? Pretty simple, really. Okay, let me show you another thing. Let's see, title building, did title building, full graphic. We're gonna go to, I'm gonna minimize this, I'm gonna go to Google Chrome. We're gonna go get a picture. A picture of, oh, let's do a medical symbol. Medical symbol. So let's say your PSA or something is gonna be on, I don't know, flu shots. Why you should get them or something like that. Okay, let's get a full graphic here. Here we go. So 660 by 247, that's too small. Okay, it's going to be pixelized by the time that you get it into Adobe Premiere. So one thing that you can do is you can go up to Tools up on Google, and you can go to Size, go to Large Size, and it's only going to bring up large size graphics. So I would suggest doing that. 1707 by 1707, that's a good size. 3964 by 3952, that's a great size. That's pretty large. So you want large size graphics to bring in so they don't get pixelized. Okay. Let me go full graphic. Full graphic. I want something that's filling the whole screen. Okay, so like this one, 1024 by 768, that works. So I'm gonna click on that, and we're actually going to save this shot. So I'm gonna right click here, save image as, I'm gonna put it somewhere where I can find it. Medical graphic. Okay, it's on my desktop. Medical graphic is on my desktop right here. I'm going to put that into my folder. Training video. Okay. Medical graphic, I'm going to put that in here. Always keep all of your video assets, your graphics, your music, your voiceovers. Make sure that they always end up in a folder, a place where you can call it their home. We're going to go back to Premiere here. I'm going to go down here into this little empty box, and I'm going to hit Import, and there's my medical graphic. Here's another way that you can bring in that medical graphic or any other shot. You can go up to File, Import, and it brings you to the same way. Okay. Medical graphic, we're going to hit Open. It brings that shot in. We're going to double click it. It brings it into our preview window. So I'm going to shorten this up a little bit. Mark in, mark out, drag this down. So there's our medical graphic. All right, so here's what I wanted to have happen. I wanted it to do this. So you can kind of see that it's not filling the whole screen. You have that black box around it. So what we're going to do is, Care 11 does this all the time. If you watch Care 11 or Fox, this is a broadcast standard what they do now with graphics. They will copy this graphic. They'll go up to Edit, Copy, move the cursor off of there, Edit, Paste, and then what they'll do is they'll put this video right on top of one another. So there's actually two videos of the same graphic here. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click on this bottom one right here, and it brings it into our preview window. We're going to go to Effect Controls, and then we're going to go to motion, scale. So now you see the two that are being formed. So the top one is the small one. The bottom one is the large one that we enlarged. Okay? So Care 11 does this all the time. And then what they'll do is they won't just leave it like this, but what they'll do is they'll go to this layer right here, go to effects, and they'll type in blur. Blur, Gaussian blur. Effect controls, blur, blurriness. They'll put in a blur for all you Photoshop people. They'll put in this Gaussian blur that looks really, really fancy. And then when you hit play, that's a little bit short. I can stretch this out. Your graphic, I think it saves it as like a 2-minute file. So, and then one of the other cool things that you can do with this top graphic, the background is all blurred out, but what you can do with the top one, you can animate it. So we're going to go up to effect controls. We're going to go to motion. I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you, but I just wanted to show you all the cool things that you can do. We're going to click on this little stopwatch over here. It says scale. I'm going to hit a keyframe on that. It's at 100%. And then I'm going to go to the end of it. I'm going to put in 129%. So watch what happens over time. That graphic actually moves. So you're animating a graphic to go from 100% to 129%. Okay? So when you're thinking outside the box with your commercial, your last graphic that you have up for 5 seconds, think of ways that you can animate your product at the very end to come up and have some motion to it. And if it stops like that, that's fine. Okay? Full graphics, Google image, motion graphics. That's kind of motion graphics. Music track. Questions. Let me see if there's any questions from the audience. Control C, Control V. I just copied that one more time. I'll put this graphic over the top. So now we have 3 of the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this one down, this top one, and we will go to the very beginning of that graphic, and we are going to go to position. Let's see. Oh, there's still a dang it. There's a keyframe on there still. Let me delete the keyframe. It's confused. There's the little one. Okay, the little one. All right, so we're gonna do a crazy animation here with this one. We're gonna actually bring this off screen. See, say goodbye. It's gone. All right, so position. We're gonna put a keyframe for position. We've got scale. We've got rotation, and so that graphic is right here hiding behind the screen, right? Right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now watch what happens. We're going to take this little guy, and he's going to go like this across the screen. He's going to go from the left side to the right side, okay? So that's pretty boring. Duh. It's like, oh. We want to spice things up a little bit. What we can do is we can go to rotation, and we can spin it a few times. And so this is what happens. Now it's like rotating across the screen. We do things like this in Adobe After Effects and Special and Visual Effects, where we take animated logos, and you can have unlimited layers of things like that. So we have 3 layers. We have a Gaussian blur, full screen. We have one video that's pushed back, shrunk, and then we also have one that is spinning in space also. So seriously, you guys, if you can dream it and you can envision it, you can do it in Adobe Premiere. Seriously, there's nothing that I haven't been able to do with this program. So anyway, so if you guys ever need help doing like things like this, I'll be happy to show you. Motion graphics, and then music. I'm gonna bring in a song, royalty free. Let me see what this is. That works. All right, royalty free. I'm going to put that in my folder. This PC. I'm going to find my folder because that's where it goes. I'll just go this way. Toutge video training, royalty free. There it is right there. It actually made a copy of it. So if there's something you ever want to make a copy of, just put it in your folder. It will make it. I'm going to go back to Premiere. I'm going to bring in this song really quick. Go back to source, go back to project, and we're going to go to file, import music, royalty free. Open. So here's our song. It's going to show up as waveforms. Our radio people are familiar with this. Oops. All right. Right there. So for music too, you would set a mark in point. So hit mark in. The computer's going to remember that mark in. If there's like a song that you're going to use for your TV commercial, you're going to bring that in. You're probably either compose it yourself in the keyboard room or go royalty free. Okay, and let me just go forward here. We'll hit mark out, and then here again we've got just drag audio only. We'll drag this down. So now we just have the audio. So we've got our medical graphic. We'll make all of these match so everything ends at the same time. So we can just pull that over, pull that over. All right, so now we can go to Pinwheel. So when I was filming this Pinwheel, it wasn't spinning, and then I started my camera move, and then just all of a sudden, like, it started spinning. It's like, cool. Thank you, God. All right, so we'll hit. So I don't need audio because I already have audio. So I'm going to shut my audio track off. Okay, I'm going to hit, let's go video down, and then we'll go to faucet. Mark in, mark out, just the video. And let's see, this one, drag this video in, and a tree shot. Oh, not that one, this one. The tree shot, the jib shot on the tree. Bring that over here. Cut. I'm building something, you guys. Except I don't want to go from a boom shot to a boom shot, so I'm going to get the bunny, the rabbit. Bring that in. So, oops. See what I did there? I was just trying to drag the video, and it brought the audio, and I don't want the audio, so I'll put it back. I'm going to just grab the video, put it right in between here. If I wanted to fit in this little spot, I can just shorten it, bring it down. And then I'll just do this really quick. I'll go apply default, apply default, apply default, and apply default. All right, so here is a quick music video. Oh, and it just cuts out to black, and we want it to fade out to black. So we go, what? How do I fade out my video? Aiden.
You do with your mouse right over at the edge, and so it comes up with a little red thing, and then you
Right click or left click? Right click, right?
And then you go down to apply default.
Yep. And Claire, how do I do a video, an audio fade?
You go to the end of your audio, and then you right click on the end.
What if I want the audio to end with
So
my
then
video?
You can drag the end of the video over to the end of the audio over to the end of the video.
Is there a quicker way to do it rather than just dragging that over?
You can select the audio and then hit Control K.
I could, yes. All right, so select my audio, Control K. That splits, I believe. It didn't. Well, here's what we can do. We can grab our razor blade and we can cut and then right click, apply default, and so now, and so the video, the audio fade all at the same time. All right. That's a lot of information I gave you. You guys are back to your TV commercials tomorrow. If you're filming, bring all your clothes that you need, and have a good day.